how do you define culture and what makes it so special here in Detroit, and what needs to make sure is always there with that all-important word right now and as a new chapter begins?
Well, for starters, it's something you never want to lose because it's hard to get back and it's hard to find. Starts with leadership, culture does. Starts with the owners, works its way down to guys in the coaching staff, even assistant coaches, Brad McCrimmon, guys like that were here. Dave Lewis, character guy. A lot of guys that, like we spoke about, are there when times are tough. That's culture. It's not when you're winning games and you're on a huge winning streak and you win. We won 64 games in a year, but we lost in the playoffs. And it's who's around when you get beat by Colorado. It's who's around when you have those brawls against Colorado. It's who's in the room when you need them most. Pat somebody on the back after a tough loss. I mean, it's hard to win. People think it's easy. It's very difficult. You lose more than you win, a lot more, and it's the tough times that make your teams better. And culture is the teams that can embrace, admit, and get better from their failures and from you don't want to call them failures, experiences. We can call them that. And from when things don't go good, who's going to step up and who's going to come together and who's going to be better. It's easy to be a pessimist when things are going wrong, things are going bad, and that guy that badmouths somebody or that guy that leaves the room and talks bad about somebody. Culture is having guys that don't do that, and that comes from the top. And real fortunate to have some outstanding coaches in Detroit and have some great leadership guys that taught us that. And I think Detroit always had guys that when we were there, and that's one of the reasons why I always had all those goalies that we aforementioned play with me, is Yzerman was there for the younger guys. Fetisov, Larionov were there for Fedorov and Kozlov. And Zetterberg and Datsuk were there for Larkin and Bertuzzi, a little bit of Mantha. So these guys, you always got to learn from somebody that's handing the baton off of culture. That's what it is, really. It's handing that culture off to the next guys in and trusting them to do it the right way. There's a big responsibility in that, and felt that when I was there for the younger goalies I had with Jimmy Howard. I had to mentor him, and he had his ups and downs, but I felt my responsibility was to give him that to move forward and do it himself. And he did a great job of it, and did very well the last few years, and especially last year, a trying year for him. Kept his head on his shoulders, and that's part of their culture too, is not making it about yourself when things are tough. And the Red Wings have always been that, and it's been difficult for them since Zetterberg's been retired. And people can talk about Larkin and all these guys are great kids. It takes time, but they get the culture. And Jeff Blashill's done a wonderful job as well. He's a great human too. We run into a lot of them, but culture is just doing it the right way every day, every minute, every game, every practice, and being there for your teammates. Not when times are easy, but when times are tough.